Hey, everybody, welcome to our Monday sales meeting. My name is Mario Delgadillo out of Dallas, Texas. Hope you guys had a great weekend and are pumped up and excited for the upcoming week ahead. And before we get started and jump into our numbers, production, and all of that other good stuff, first of all, I just want to point out my brand new hat. This is Salina High School. This is the high school that's in the neighborhood that we just are building our dream home in, and the school that all the kids are going to graduate from. So my wife came home today. She tossed it in, and I was like, oh, yeah, baby, this thing looks awesome. So Texas football is kind of like going to church out here. It's one and the same, so very excited about that. But this afternoon, before we get into the numbers, guys, I want to share with you a couple of points that I think are very important, right? Kind of staying in line with what I talked to you guys about briefly, where stepped into this week and just boom, lost two clients that I thought were pretty much like a shoe-in, and then just put my head down and kept running. Was the anxiousness level, if that's a word, anxiety level up? Absolutely, because here I am like, crap, I'm banking on that money, and there it goes. You have to just keep pushing. You have to be mentally tough. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you guys about today. So a couple of rules of mental toughness. Okay. So rule number one, guys. Well, first thing is this is how do you judge or how do you gauge mental or emotional toughness? It's really difficult to do, right? It's not like there's a quantifiable number or there's some type of matrix that you can use to really see what you're made of. But there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you guys. You guys have heard people say never judge a book by its cover, right? I'm going to say this, never judge toughness by its cover. And I'm going to share a story with you guys. So some of you may or may not know my wife, but she's an absolute beast, right? She's very, very quiet, kind of humble, kind of meek, doesn't really carry herself in a way where it's like everybody look at me or anything like that. But when we were having our first daughter, after doing her research and the whole nine, she was like, I'm going to have a natural birth, right? And so I remember sitting down with her and the doctor was like, well, first the nurse or whatnot was just kind of like not really paying attention to that. Like, yeah, a lot of ladies say that, but when the crap hits the fan, we see what's up, because this is a pain like you've never realized before. So she started talking to her about different like Pitocin and about this and about that and all these different things. And she was just like not having it. And you could tell that the lady was just like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, you want to have a natural birth, but yeah, let's see how you say like when it goes down, right? So here we are the day of, and I've never seen anybody tougher in my life. Like straight natural birth all the way through, multiple kids. And the reason I say this, guys, is because pain tolerance is something bananas. Like she's had surgeries, and people know to ask us for like pain meds because she gets them and never takes them. Like I remember one time we had like Narcos in our cabinet forever because she just will not take anything, right? And I started thinking about that. Never judge toughness by its cover, right? Pain tolerance is a huge factor for success in the beginning of your business, right? Think about that. It is painful to start a business, guys. It is not easy. And unless you're being fake about it on social media, which a lot of people are, okay, there's nothing sexy about it. Especially if you want to get serious about this. The emotional roller coaster is up and down. It's crazy. It's tough. It's hard. And so the reason I say that is the first thing is don't think that you are not tough, right? Any one of us can be tough because I say never judge toughness by its cover. Number two is rules of mental toughness, guys, preparedness and preparation are huge. Have you guys ever heard of David Blaine? You know who David Blaine is? He's a guy who goes and does crazy stuff. One of the things that he did is he was underwater for 17 minutes holding his breath, right? 17 flipping minutes. And they interviewed him and asked him, like, how did you go about getting prepared for something like that? Right. I remember being a kid and it was like maybe 2.5, 3 minutes tops. And then I feel like I would pop up and it was like I was going to die, right? 17 is bananas. So what he does is he goes to the doctor and he does research on how long it will take for his lungs to collapse. At what time underwater will your brain stop working, right? And once he finds out all of this, he prepares accordingly and ends up staying underwater for 17 minutes. I mean, think about this. How serious is he about his craft? I mean, that's insane. Because if he was underwater for 13 minutes, would you probably be equally as amazed? If he was underwater for 10 minutes, would you probably be equally as amazed? But 17 is because he pushed himself to a brink that nobody's ever been. So my question is, are you taking your craft and your business that serious? Have you role played your scripts with your significant other? Have you presented the financial seminar PowerPoints with your loved ones? Or say, hey, mom, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna present this script for you, and I want you to go through this presentation with me, right? When you think about scripts, right, and like a presentation is just the same, right? We're just going through this process. People make millions upon millions of dollars every year reading a script and memorizing a script, right? Play along with me. What is your favorite movie? Like, what is your absolute favorite movie? Or even if that, who's your favorite actor? Type it in. Who's your favorite actor, actress, and why, like what movie? Top Gun, okay. So is it what's his name? Tom Cruise? He would be your favorite actor?
He's not my favorite actor. It's just my favorite movie.
Okay, well, let's do favorite actor, favorite movie. What do you guys think? Ryan Gosling, Gangster Squad. Okay, Bridesmaids. What's the actor? Wolf of Wall Street. Leo. Okay. Will Smith, Denzel. Friday. They were not in Friday though. Julia Roberts, Ocean's 11. Okay, it's a good one. So I'll just pick on Denzel. Probably one of the single greatest actors of all time. Okay. When he plays a part, like he's not playing a part, like he becomes that person. Do you think he prepares on another level? Do you think he reads these scripts so that they are like the back of his hand and become him? Absolutely. Guys, today, I don't know why, I just felt off when I was calling. So I jumped on and grabbed my scripts. Jim Carrey, another phenomenal actor. I pulled up my scripts. I haven't pulled up my scripts while I've been on the phone in months and months and months. But I was just not feeling myself. And so I was like, you know what? I'm pulling up my scripts. All right. So number 2 is preparedness. Number 3, guys, is this. Life is going to test you. Okay. So first and foremost, let me tell you this, guys. You're not the only person that is going through it. You are not the only person going through whatever it is you're going through right now. Something my dad told me a long time ago, and it helped me with kind of the mental toughness side of things. He said, no matter what you're going through in life, there's somewhere in the world, somebody's going through the exact same thing. But somewhere else in the world, somebody's going through the exact same thing, but tougher. And they're succeeding. So if somebody else is going through something tougher and they're succeeding, what is it between you and them, right? It's toughness. It's being able to stick with it. So I'll share with you guys my story because I've gone through it in this industry. So, years ago, I got laid off from my corporate job. And when I was in corporate, guys, from the day I got there, I was like the golden boy. Everything I touched turned to gold. My first 6 months, I set the record for sales, and this is my corporate job. And every 6 months, I made like 25, 29, 30% increases, right? Became a senior manager inside of 2 years. And my team was the top 3 teams in the entire nation, okay? Long story short, some things happened to change the industry. It really, really hurt the way I did business because it didn't make sense to me. And again, I was way, way younger. So I was a lot more prideful, a lot more stubborn, and these people came in and tried to change everything we did, and none of it made sense to me. So I was like, you guys are idiots. So because of that, I made myself a target. Okay. So I get laid off being the second best at what I did on the western half of the United States. So I get laid off, and then I had to go find another job, right? I was making really significant income, but based on what I could find, I could only make half of what I was making at my old full-time job. So I had to pick something up. And so that's when I got back into the industry, started doing really well. And at the time, I remember making 40 grand part-time for the first time. And I got it into my head that if I could do 40 grand part-time, can you imagine what I could do full-time? So I was living at our first. We owned 2 homes in Eastville. This was our first house in Eastville. I sold my home. I had about 180, maybe $200,000 in equity at the time. Sold my home, quit my other job, okay, which I think was like a 95 a year job, and moved my family back into my parents' house. Thankfully, I was blessed with my dad was just like, look, if you're gonna do it, go right, like go all in. Don't pussyfoot with it, like go for it. So we moved back into my parents' house. So sold my home, quit a 6-figure job, moved my family back into the room that I lived in high school. Okay, and in a year and a half, I was flat broke. I remember borrowing money from my dad to pay myself up. Okay, I remember having to literally go see people, and I didn't have enough gas money to go see them, to go see clients. So when I tell you that I've been there, guys, I've been there, and I had to fight my way out of it. But these are the moments where you're measuring your toughness. Okay, life is not easy. Okay, I think we all know that, right? Can I get like a hand up if you know that life is not easy, right? Can we understand that nobody cares, right? I tell this to my boys all the time. Hey, listen, nobody cares. And guess what? I don't blame any of y'all for not caring either. Okay? Because you have your own families, you have your own bills, you have your own stuff, right? Do you know that there's 2 F words that we don't use in my house? The first one is F-U-C-K. The second one is F-A-I-R. I tell my boys, if I hear the word fair come out of your mouth, that's not fair, I'll flip out. Hear me and hear me quick. Life is not fair. And the quicker you understand that and create a plan, the better off your life will be. And it got to a point with this younger generation that I had to say, if you say the F word to mom, like the F-U-C-K word, I'm going to beat you down, boy. You know that. Guess what? You say the F-A-I-R word to me, I'm going to beat you down. Like, I'm sick of that word, okay? I'm sick of that word, right? But it's those moments that we need, guys. We need those moments. As much as we don't want it, as hard as it is, you need them because that's what gives you the toughness. That's what gives you the ability to get through it. And number 4, guys, number 3, we said life is going to test you. Number 4, guys, is stop being so damn soft, right? You know, you guys all, if some of you know, I think a lot of you guys are from Cali, or at least familiar though. Remember when Kobe and Shaq had this huge falling out when they played for the Lakers? And I saw an article about Kobe, or with Kobe, and they were asking him about Shaq, and he said, you know, the biggest compliment I could give to Shaq was that he was big and mean. What most people don't know, okay, is that most guys that are ginormously big are actually pretty soft, like men, because they've never had to be mean. They've never had to be, because they're just intimidating, right? So I'll never forget, I had a friend tell me that whole, like, the bigger they are, you know, the harder they fall is so true, because nobody wants to square up against a guy like Shaq, because they just think he's tough, you think he's huge, you think he's strong. But how do you learn to fight? By fighting. Yeah, but if everybody's just been so intimidated by you, you never fight. You don't know how to fight. And he said the thing about most big men in the NBA was they were really, really soft. And he said Shaq was big and mean, right? And that was the biggest compliment. He said, listen, so how do you define soft? Right? Is somebody's back to the wall and they fold? Right? Are they in, did they talk a big game and then they quit? Right? Do we face opposition and then tuck tail and walk away? Right? We have to understand, guys, it's really all about how you react when you face challenging times. So don't be soft. So, guys, 4 things, right? Number 1 is never judge toughness by its cover. Every single one of you guys are tough. Okay, you can be tough, and you probably have been tough. Number 2 is how do you rules for mental toughness, guys? Is I believe that being prepared, okay, is what gives you some confidence while you're in the middle of the muck. Number 3 is understanding that life is going to test you. But guess what? It happens to everybody. You're not the only one going through it. And number 4 is just stop being so damn soft, right? So these are a couple of I've got a whole list of them that I want to work through with you guys. But, I did talk about a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to have more of an emphasis on personal development, right? On mindset, because I believe that 80% of this industry and success in this industry is just being tough right here. Okay. That's what's going to qualify or disqualify people, or what will make you average or above average. Like, there's a difference between average and above average. And I know all of you guys want to get to that above average mark. So that's it, guys. We're done with the actual training.